When did you hide? You'll find another way. Praise you. Just a sad sign with nothing to say about a life that's at a hospital say. And if you think that I'm wrong, this never meant nothing to you. Come on, it's the sad sign with nothing to say about a red long milk for a hospital stay. And if you think that I'm wrong, it's never been nothing to you. Oh, at all, at all, at all. That's right. You did hear Justice League. Yakuza. Wait. That's true. Yosh. Yosh. Hello. Buenos dias. It's that guy. Hi, how's it going? It's your boy, Okami Saw Stitch. To EXP626. I did not check anything behind that. We're gonna believe it's gonna work. So, with all that being said, hello. It is a Sunday. Hello. We are almost done with May, which is unironically probably one of my favorite months. Hello. I don't even want to say it, but the things that are happening now in the universe are just so potato to a point that, like, it's so potato the way that things just are gonna end up. And to put that in the next level of echelon, the balance in the universe, in our world as we know it, financially, economically, what's this? Educationally, academically, is now shifted. So we're gonna take all that, we're gonna put it in our back pocket, and we're gonna walk forward and have an awesome month of June, which is the birthday month of my eldest sister. So this is where summer. This is where the fun begins. So, with all that being said, let's jump into it. Hello, it is us. It is we. It is your boy, EXP66 and the Comic Saw Stitch here, having fun, being cool, relaxing, playing some awesome music for 2 minutes, and then jumping into the informational segment of our universe as we like it. And if all that sounds fun and entertaining, then I would hope that one would enjoy hanging out and checking us out. So, with all that being said, Ambarimasu. Okay, vamos pues. All the way back here. Woo! Much fun. Ikimashou. Of course. Wow. In your head, you lost your earrings. In her bed, you couldn't tell her that you lost them. Cause you're scared and you're not talking. So you think of what to say. Then save another day. Cause you just never had the heart. Now they're just drifting further apart from you. From you. From you. From you. Her love is in your head. You lost your earrings in a bed. You couldn't tell her that you lost them. Cause you're scared and you're not talking. So you think of what to say. And then save it another day. Cause you just never had the heart. Now they're just drifting further apart from you. Read all about it. Mac is in his feels and he can't get out of it. Extra, read all about it. Mac is in his feels and he can't get out of it. Extra, read all about it. Mac is in his feels and he can't get out of it. Extra, read all about it. Mac is in his feels and he can't get from you. From you. Read all about it. From you. From you. Can't get out of it. Can't get out of it. There you go. Good job, good job, good job. That's what happens when you learn. Wow. Yeah, man. I don't know who this guy is, but he's getting there. He's getting there. I like it. So, but wait. Get serious. There was a time. Very serious. Let me tell you about a girl I know. Had his drink about an hour ago. Met her bar in a downtown hill. And had a noise at the knock bell. She heard a noise and she looked at the door. Some man she never seen before. Light skin, light blue eyes, another gin and a plastic smile. And her raised Johnny walked to the door and took a seat next to her at the bar. Car is right outside. I'd like to go for a ride. She said, wait a minute, I have to think. He said, that's fine, may I just buy you a drink? One drink to 10 to 3 or 4. And they haven't got in his car. And they drove away someplace afar. Now babe, the time has come. I'd like to have a little fun. And she said, if we could only please be on our way, I cannot run. That's when things got out of control. She didn't want to dance and his way. They said let's go, they said no way. Come on baby, it's your lucky day. Shut your mouth, you're gonna do it my way. Don't be a baby, don't be afraid. Love wasn't for the rape, I never get laid. Fair enough. I finished up and started the car. He turned around, drove back to the bar. Now baby, don't be sad. In my opinion, you were half bad. She picked up a rock, threw it at the car, hit him in the head, and now he's got back started. Come on, baby, listen to me. Take rape sadly. Next day, he went into her drawer. She looked up her local attorney at law. He went for release on a fire police report and deputized and asked the court and said, then stay in front of the judge. He screamed, she lies, the little slut. Judge knew he was full of shit, so he gave him 25 years. Now his heart is filled with tears. One night, it was getting late. He was butt raped by a large inmate, and he screamed, but the gods gave no attention to his cries. That's when things got out of control. Moral of the day, rip sorry, that's not painful, drunk and horny. That's the way it had to be. Locked him up and threw away the key. I can't take pity of a man of his kind, even though he now takes it in the behind. No, it had to be. Took him up and threw away the key. I can't take pity of a man of his kind, even though he now takes it in the behind. They rip! Na 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 na. She didn't want to, she didn't want to, she didn't want to, she didn't want to. Two things to note. They're all fairly new songs when I try these things. Number two, that's a lot of fucking notes in one song. But we really like Sublime. So, if that doesn't get your adrenaline pumping, justice. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to save that for later. For now, I leave you in the capable hands of my thing. So, with all that being said, check you guys out in a few. Ja. You know. So I stay holding on tonight. It's true. Because Mina the Hollower is creating an unexpected problem for other games. Ladies and gentlemen. This is by Sherry Faulkner over at GameSpot. Ja. Yacht Club Games Shovel Knight is one of the most highly loved platformers out there. Almost 10,000 overall positive reviews on Steam. It's hard to see what the developers are pushing to release dates. Upcoming action platformer Mina the Hollower, especially games in similar genre. Bob Ware's Ornorium and Murom was originally set for May 29th release date, the same day as Mina. But in a video posted to YouTube, the studio explained that the game will not be released slightly earlier on May 25th. Quote, we have no other choice but to change the launch date, the video says. The Devolver Digital has now also posted a similar video. Whoa, that's a big company right there. What are you doing? To this time postponing the launch of Dark Scrolls to June 22nd. Originally, we were going to release Dark Scrolls on May 28th, but it turns out we're going to be a little bit busy playing Mina the Hollower when it comes out on May 29th. Because we have our priorities in the right place and I already requested it off of work, end quote, the video explains. As Yacht Club Games' David DeAngelo explained to GameSpot, though there were originally supposed to be a little more direct collaboration between the games, quote, we worked with Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo to try to make sure we picked a date that didn't conflict with anyone. We landed on 12th, May 29th. Okay, I guess that didn't help. Quote, we were already in discussion with Devolver and Dark Scrolls team for a month or so about how our release dates were coming up in the Steam bundle. Might be cool to help promote the launches. They announced their date on May 5th. We announced May 6th. And then mid-email chain discussed the bundles. We realized we had essentially picked the same release date, which I followed up by sending profuse apologies to Doink Software for screwing up. And they were totally cool with it. Talked and decided to push theirs back. Quote, they said it was nice to have a little breathing room since they were going to be at BitSummer anyway, and they wanted to play Mina on day one, end quote. The imminent arrival of Mina the Hollower comes after the game's successful Kickstarter campaign, over 1.4 million, is originally set to release in October 2025, was delayed in order to allow the term to apply some more polishing and balancing, end quote. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. We're talking, okay, so number one, AAA, kind of funky. Quote unquote indie, because obviously these guys have been around for a cool minute, but they're out there doing their thing with Shovel Knight. It's successful, and now Mina the Hollower is basically like a Castlevania style spiritual successor. So what makes this interesting is that, number one, for me at least, is that people are already talking about why the fuck does it do that? Combining to to release together. There is some kind of alliance between indies that are like, yeah, they're out there talking to each other, they're having communication. Obviously, something like Grand Theft Auto 6 is where everybody gets out of the way. But it's also interesting to see that on the indie side, that other companies are like out there saying, you know what, take the date, you know, we're gonna do other stuff. And even funnier / cooler than that to me is that they go, hey man, we just want to play your game, so release it and we'll release our game. So that's either some very solid synergy, consistency with the teams out there, or that's like, you know, interesting to know for different reasons. But for me, it's not necessarily on my radar. I do know these things are happening, but I'm not necessarily out there day one. So to see people that actually make games stop the presses and go, hey, we would like to play your game day one, it is something I should really start looking into, kinda. So, hey, looking forward to that one. But hey, guess what else we're looking forward to, ladies and gentlemen? That's right, someone say AAA in the house. Sony Interactive Entertainment trademarks break-in ahead of State of Play Showcase. This is by Dave Aubrey over at the Video Games Chronicle. And here we go. Trademark appear on the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office website with the filing date of May 20th, 2026. Break-in has been trademarked under the IC 009. That's pretty dope. And IC 100, I don't even, is it the zero necessary? 041, the first being dedicated to video game software and second dedicated to entertainment services, including video games. It's clear that whatever Break-in is, it's related to a video game. Fans believe that it to be possible rebrand of Haven Studios' Fair Games, which was announced in 2023 and hasn't been seen since. In February 2025, it was reported that Fair Games had been delayed to 2026. Sheesh. A previous report from Insider Gaming appears to corroborate this theory, as it reports Fair Games will feature in extraction mode with phrase "break-in" appearing in the alleged mode description. While a trademark filing isn't evident that the title will be released, let alone announced, it does coincide nicely with the announcement of a June 2nd State of Play Showcase. That is right. I'll save that for later. I'll save for later. Yes, sir. Wait, what? Oh, shoot. Yay. Nope, that's not it. Yes, sir. Fair Games. Okay. Again, like they said, it's nothing confirmed, but what we do know is a State of Play Showcase has been announced. Here's some quick notes. It's Tuesday, June 2nd, 2 p.m. PT Eastern Time. All this stuff. That is 2 p.m. That means that is happening while I am in the middle of work. So what does that mean? It means I have to take a day off of work. Because, let's see if we can figure this one out. No games. Really, they don't even talk about the live showings of this. Interesting. And I forget just what it takes, and yet I guess it makes me smile. But what's ironic is that Fair Games, again, the game that, another live service game that, I'll be real with you, this was the one game that I saw originally and was like, hey, that sounds kind of fun. But you're also talking to the guy that genuinely enjoyed playing Destruction All Stars, which was almost like a Twisted Metal spiritual successor, but a lot of people weren't into it, so it didn't make it. However, we know what has happened recently with PlayStation. We know what has happened with Destiny. Well, actually, we'll get into what has happened with Destiny. And we're looking at these people just drop money on all these things and just like really not know what they're doing with it, right? Or even if they do something with it, there's not enough, let's call it passion or creative intent behind it to actually stand apart or be something that is appealing to the audience. So for me, this is the original trailer that they showed. This is the one that I actually enjoyed. It looks fairly cool. You're out there, you're doing heists with technology weapons, and then you're doing 3v3s apparently, which I can get behind. But yeah, now seeing how they're adding extraction mode and all this stuff, it shows how they're kind of adapting to either their market or what they think people want. You got monkey skins, man. What they think the people want, which is clearly not been working for them in the past couple of years. So that's something to really look into. But regardless, it's here, it exists, and if I really would hope that rather than Breaking being a whole original game and money being thrown into something that might be another live service attempt, I would hope that it is either a rebranding or the game mode that they're claiming that it might be. So I'll leave it at this. If Fair Games launches free to play, I will try it. We will stream that, we'll show you, we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there, right? But I don't expect much. So all to be revealed next Tuesday at the State of Play showcase, which is being showcased in. I'm surprised they're not even talking about that. Being showcased in the Alamo Draft House in select locations. Something to note is the Alamo Draft House is a tiny ass freaking place, which honestly just adds fire to the saltiness of like who the fudge is out there planning these things. But whatever, we'll get into that some other time. Because the legal fallout of Xbox acquisition of Activision Blizzard is finally over at Polygon, written by Thomas Franzis. Nearly 4.5 years after the acquisition was first announced, Microsoft has finally settled the last remaining legal challenges to its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. GameFile reported on May 22nd that Microsoft had reached $250 million settlement with AP7, a Swedish pension fund, also known as Sinjunde AP Fondent, which had been filed a class action lawsuit against Microsoft in 2022. If AP7 had won its lawsuit, Microsoft would have had to pay an additional 30 cents to share those who owned Activision stocks between January 2020 and 2023. Ultimately, AP7 said, although it's stated in official documentation that Microsoft is entering its stipulations solely to avoid the burden, expense, and distraction of continued litigation. End quote. The settlement marks the end of a very tumultuous period of Xbox that began when the acquisition was announced in 2022. Xbox's acquisition of Activision Blizzard immediately came under worldwide legal scrutiny, and Microsoft had already battled the FTC in court over the merger. Several concessions, primarily related to the availability of Activision Blizzard titles on platforms Microsoft doesn't own, and cloud gaming services had to be made for the acquisition to be approved. Microsoft fully acquired Activision Blizzard on October 2023, but the Xbox troubles did not end there. Over the past several years, Xbox had multiple rounds of layoffs, many of which have impacted developers working at the Activision Blizzard studios. The increased financial burden placed on Xbox post-acquisition also led to make some controversial decisions, such as abandoning platform exclusivity and drastically raising the price of Xbox Game Pass. The fallout of Activision Blizzard came to a head earlier this year when Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer stepped down. Asa Shawarma took over. Since Shawarma has made some bold decisions. These have included dropping Game Pass price by taking away access to the future Call of Duty games from day one. Why no? That's actually pretty intense. I had another one. I'm so happy, 'cause today I found my friends. I don't care. I'm so lonely, 'cause today. Cool. So, what does this mean? Activision. Okay, Activision owned by Microsoft, which is owned by Bill. What's his face? Got his name already. The bad guy that was at the island. Yeah, he was at the island man's place. It's all connected. It's shitty, but it's all connected. And so this guy bought Microsoft. Something about shares, and basically now they're paying off that by paying off more money. It's okay. The nitty gritty of it is that someone gave someone a pass for being a sycophant and having money and technology, and that someone is an orange orangutan at the Oval Office, is what I'm starting to understand here. However, that goes into Microsoft fully acquiring Activision Blizzard and going forward with this new idea of lowering the price but pulling away Call of Duty, which, yes, works, right? But what else can they pull away from Game Pass? Now that this is a quote-unquote cough cough wheeze wheeze, a president set by this one chick, Asha Sharma, sorry, Avengers fan, who comes from the AI branch of Microsoft. So essentially, the new president of Xbox is the old AI president of Microsoft. And while she has been very pro anti-AI towards Microsoft, you already know how the story goes, man. So what do they want from us if it isn't money and information? So just keep your eyes peeled with that one. That being said, PlayStation's being stupid. How stupid? Well, let's find out. Over at PC Magazine. This is by James Peckham. Another gaming price hike. PlayStation Plus now costs up to $2 more per month. Update 521. New prices are now live for PlayStation Plus customers in the United States, and we've also seen hikes hit its extra and premium tiers. Shit. Sony's initial announcement only confirmed $1 monthly increase for PS Plus Essentials to $10.99 a month, but there's also a $2 increase for its other two options. PS Plus Extra now costs $16.99 per month, up to $14.99, or $43 for 3 months, up to if you want top 10 and premium access more retro games, it now costs $20, up from $17.99, or $54.99 for 3 months, up from $50. Ha. What about the year? Sony's next gaming price hike doesn't affect its PlayStation 5 consoles. Instead, it targets PlayStation Plus, its online subscription service. Starting May 20th, new subscribers will pay $10.99 a month for a one-month subscription, or $27.99 for 3 months. That's $1 per month compared to what subscribers currently pay. Sony says this price change only applies to new subscribers, meaning those with active subscriptions won't pay the new price until their existing subscription changes or lapses. If you let the subscription run out for a month, you'll pay more when you return, making a monthly subscription less versatile. You also pay the new price if you switch to a different PlayStation Plus tier. Fuck. They got me. New price if you switch to a different PlayStation Plus tier. Sony has yet to announce any changes to its yearly subscription, making it a better deal for those who know they want a year of service. Sony blames, quote, ongoing market conditions for this price hike, likely referring to ongoing global RAM crisis for its impact on profits. And that has been months ago. Which was this posted? May 24th, 2026. This was recent. Today's chronic short, the PC dub RAM additional sense slowing down, makes species getting old, may not be able to text and current one by a new on this while space started to blame this mess. AI data center room. AI cloud giants have scarfed up the outside shared production capabilities for memory modules over the next few years, which has amped up audio demand and tightened supply. Leading memory manufacturers, Heinz, from speed on RAMs. Okay. Tested review of PC. I've nearly experienced tracking components cost post work in time, so I'm a keen follower of PC part trends. Damn. So yeah, again, people are building AI centers, and who signs off on the building of AI centers, even though they're polluting our waters and they're using up our electricity and they're charging the taxpayers for that electricity, but the orange orangutan in the Oval Office. So again, it's shitty, but it's literally all connected. Hey, wait, I got a new complaint. Ish. So there's that. Sony raises prices. Sony just announced any changes to its yearly subscription, making it a better deal for those who know they want a year service. Sony blames on blah blah blah. Player sentiments have been negative as Sony hasn't made any changes to the service offered. The top comment on Sony X's announcement reads, quote, "It should be free to play online games without paywalls in 2026," with over 29,000 likes. This follows several price hikes over the last year, including PlayStation 5 consoles, which have risen by 150 in PS4 and digital editions, 200 for the PS5 Pro. PlayStation Plus has been left alone until now, until last monthly hike happening in 2022, when Sony revamped its tiers in late 2023. Sony introduced a price increase for annual Plus packages, raising the standard essential plan from a year to $79.99. The report suggests that Sony has decided to stop releasing its budget-exclusive titles on PC, according to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, a guy who is also notorious for knowing information and not talking about it. Gatekeeping, essentially. PlayStation Studio Chairman Holst told Sony employees about this strategy change on Monday. The claim was previously recorded by Schreier through sources claiming that Sony canceled a port of its Ghost of Yotei for PC. Sony has released many of its biggest games on PC, including Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Helldivers 2, Spider-Man 2, and more. So there is that. So a lot of moves coming from PlayStation. I don't even know why I didn't post or talk about this, but essentially, here, just look into my universe. Essentially, let's see if these fools talk about it. Fudging Kotaku. Alright, here we go. Let's talk about that. You're a vine. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's cute. I can see you. Now we're just at the bullshit section. Why is nobody talking about it? They literally just got hacked. PlayStation Network just got hacked, and nobody is talking about it. Come on. Come on, man. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Hey, right back. Hey. Yeah, right? They're talking about how this guy was wearing a mask. It's crazy, man. It's crazy out there. It's so fucking crazy. Because look, yeah, it's like a gap. He's wearing a mask. That's the shirt. That's the mask, and that's his skin. What the fuck, man? And look at his dead eyes. God dang. Okay. Okay. Oh, so they paid $225 million for the settlement. Exactly, that's what happened. Oh God, we're getting out there, man. What? Why is nobody talking about the PlayStation breach? Who did they pay off to not talk about this PlayStation breach? Because they literally just got hacked. It happened like last night almost. What the hell, man? Let's see if they talk about it here. Dude, I swear, they're not talking about it. That's crazy. What are you doing, bro? Talking about the universe and the internet and how bad it is out there. Because PlayStation just upped its prices, and there was somebody that hacked PSN like over the weekend. So it's crazy that nobody's talking about it. Maybe they have the weekend off. Who knows? But hey, that happens. So I'm here to see what happens, I guess, in the next couple of days. Again, they raised the prices, And then they announced that the Sony event is happening in 2 weeks, which they usually don't give people heads up that far in advance. Again, very weird, 1-to-1. And then we also get into the whole shtick of it being at the Alamo Draft House, which is a piece of shit that you should never visit. That is my endorsement for that fucking shithole. But hey, at least they have beer. Even in hell, they have beer. Guess what? It gets worse. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync creative director explains why the modern day scenes are gone. I didn't even know. This is by Jordan Middler over at VGC. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync creative director explained, in early games Assassin's Creed franchise, players would split their time between playing as historical assassins and modern day sequences, which center around a mysterious company named Abstergo in more recent entrees. These sequences have been phased out, a change that has split the Assassin's Creed fanbase. Assassin's Creed Black Flag players are hired by Abstergo Entertainment to examine the memories of Edward Kenway. One of the reasons players are tasked to do so is to gather material for a potential feature film about Kenway. However, in a coming remake of the game, the sequences have been removed, and when asked about the decision to remove the modern-day elements, the game's creative director Paul Fu explained that it may be jarring to keep them in the game when compared to how the modern-day element is handled in the rest of the series currently. Ha. Quote, "We felt it was the right thing to do and go in the direction of Assassin's Creed Shadows," Fu told VGC during an interview earlier this month. Quote, "The animus had evolved so much in the past few years that it would be odd for us to shift in direction." Quote, "The game does feature the rifts that appeared in Shadows, showing what-if scenarios," to Fu. The game, according to Fu, VGC recently spent 4 hours with Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync and called it a perfect summer jump back to the Caribbean and a game loved by so many. The gameplay elements that made the Legend beloved are still great, and where Ubisoft Singapore has gone and touched things up, they've done it in subtlety. Things like epic visuals and new perfect parry system are in the headline additions, but director Paul Fu's approach has been one of someone who's clearly extremely reverent to the original. Black Flag releases on July 9th. Oh, that's coming out soon. Okay. Alright. I don't know, man. I'm pretty... Okay, so here we go. There's gameplay. Are they going with the new style? Okay, this is the original gameplay style, which again is what I'm into. So if no, it's not. No, it's not. It's the new updated gameplay style. Okay, interesting. All right. Well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too old, but Assassin's Creed really was something back in this day, you know what I mean? As far as how Ubisoft is now and what they represent and what this game specifically means for Ubisoft, I don't know if I can support it. I don't know. It just feels like they... The fact that they're removing the Abstergo stuff is a clear indication that it's not the same game. To me, at least. But unironically, removing the Abstergo stuff in this game specifically is the right call to make. Because this was after they essentially killed off Nolan North, i.e. Desmond Miles. They killed him off in Assassin's Creed 3, spoilers. And then they had no fucking plans for what the quote-unquote IRL missions were going to be like. Which was a lot of people's favorite parts. Even though some people are going to complain and say that those parts were stupid. I, for one, really enjoyed the modern-day Assassin's Creed stuff. I enjoyed the Desmond Miles events, scenes. And it was a bummer. It was a bummer when they basically got rid of that. And from there, it was obvious that things were changing. So, I would say the fact that they're removing even more Abstergo content from this remake just proves how much not Assassin's Creed this is to me. But I understand why people are like, oh, hey, that's the new Assassin's Creed. So I'll just leave it at that. So, hey, Sag. I don't. Moving on. But we were talking about this. Thank you, Mina. But remember how we talked about Sega releasing those super crazy taxi games? Crazy Taxi. is by Jordan Miller, sicking over at Video Games Chronicle. Sega is teasing a new Crazy Taxi with first social media post in 7 years. It's been 7 years. Crazy Taxi X account has posted for the first time in 7 years, potentially seizing an upcoming revival. New entry in Crazy Taxi franchise was announced in 2023 during the Game Awards. Since then, nothing has been seen of the upcoming revival. It's going to be at the PSN Trust PS Plus event. Now a teaser video has been posted to Crazy Taxi account, the first post on the account since 2019. Jesus. 23. That was 23 at that age. The clip, which can be viewed below, shows the iconic taxi light illuminating the top of what appears to be a trademark yellow convertible taxi. Crazy Taxi reboot is being developed by Sega Sapporo Studio, which was established in December 2021 and helps with the development of various Sega games. In 2024, a recruitment video posted by Sega Sapporo featuring Kenji Kano, the director of the original game. According to the video, the development team was adapting the classic Crazy Taxi gameplay, which has players transporting passengers to destinations as fast as possible, into a game world with multiple players. It's unclear if the version of the game reflects what Sega is currently teasing. That is actually badass. Original Crazy Taxi enjoyed some success in an arcade game in 1999, but became far more popular when a home version was released in a Dreamcast in 2000. Ultimately becoming the third best-selling game on the console in the US. Nice. The game has seen several sequels and spin-offs, but the last new main entry in the series was Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller, which was released in 2022 years ago as an Xbox exclusive. Hey man. Crazy Taxi gameplay. Which has players transferring passengers to destinations as fast as possible into game world with multiple crazy taxis, all dropping off people at the same time. Yo, that's what it's all about. So expect a lot of drifts and a lot of crashes between people. Dude, that's gonna be crazy. I'm down. Let's do it. Probably sell it for like $20 or $5. Yeah, I don't know. $20 sounds like fun. So there's that. I would bet that this is maybe gonna show up on that PlayStation event. I feel like a couple of new information that we get out of nowhere probably reflects on that new PlayStation event, but we'll have to wait and see for that one, huh? So hey, keep it locked, keep it marked. Moving on. But don't expect the next GTA 6 trailer or price news for at least another month. Says who? Says James Peckham over at the PC Magazine. Grand Theft Auto 6 is expected to be one of the biggest games of all time, as the developer has reaffirmed plans to hit its November 19th release date. Developer Rockstar Games is a subsidiary of Take-Two, and its CEO Strauss Zelnick spoke with the press ahead of its latest earnings report. Zelnick confirmed that it doesn't yet plan to start marketing the game, despite many fans online expecting news over the last few months. In an interview with Variety, Zelnick shared that Rockstar plans to begin marketing GTA 6 in the summer. He said, the next few weeks I don't think it will be summertime yet, but when it is summertime, Rockstar expects to start marketing GTA 6. Summer begins in the Northern Hemisphere on June 21st. Automatically we're like, what is the official summer date? Hemisphere on June 21st. This confirms at least another month of waiting for fans who want to see a third trailer for the game. In an interview with Bloomberg, Zelnick confirmed plans to hit the November 19th release date. Some had speculated that there may be a third delay after the title was first slated for release in 2025. It then moved to a May 2026 release date before a second delay to November. The other big talking point is how much Grand Theft Auto 6 is set to cost for when you'll be able to reorder the title. That appears to be a part of the marketing cycle planned by Take-Two and Rockstar Games, with some expecting the price higher than that of a typical flagship game. Bank of America analyst, told Seeking Alpha that GTA 6 should cost $80. If that happens, it would put it $10 above other flagship titles, while others have speculated it may reach $100 per copy. Yeesh. Unfortunately, but yes, true. So there we go. Next month, GTA. Hypothetically, check your zodiac signs and the Northern Hemisphere for news of GTA 6. But again, I've said this before. I don't necessarily care about it. When it happens, it happens. If it becomes a technological breakthrough, I will be interested, but I don't think I'll be playing it until, like, realistically, maybe like a year or two after. I'll wait for the price drop, and I'll buy it like physical pre-owned before it's over. But, you know, who doesn't love a good romance, eh? That's why you should watch Obsession. Go watch Obsession. Please go watch Obsession. But hey, if GTA 6 wasn't real enough for you, Ukrainian drones operators are using GTA 5 to train. This is by Michael Brandon Ingram over at Game Rant. A Ukrainian drone training center is using a modified version of Grand Theft Auto 5 to help users train for shooting down Iranian drones. In GTA 5, mod utilizes a special modded multiplayer server for the game to train pilots in identifying and intercepting drones. Grand Theft Auto 5 was a landmark release for Rockstar Games of the gaming industry as a whole for many reasons. GTA 5 quickly became one of the best-selling games of all time worldwide, amassing more than $100 million in revenue within 24 hours of release. GTA 5 was initially praised for its in-depth of its open world, its multi-protagonist-driven storylines, and its overall gameplay, receiving multiple awards following its release. The game's longevity has also been among its biggest claims to fame, remaining popular for more than 10 years, and now being used for a unique military purpose. Yeah, man, yeah. I'm hungry. Mod. Ukrainian Drone Training Center's We True Gun has launched a uniquely modified version of GTA 5 aimed at training drone operators. The ultra version of GTA 5 is now geared towards helping users learn how to accurately intercept drones, react to them, and lock on targets while in motion. The simulator, built on the framework of GTA 5 Legacy and using the 5M multiplayer mod, includes new features for detecting aerial targets, pursuing targets, and realistic simulations of direct FPV drone impact. The mod version of Grand Theft Auto 5 is not widely available, restricted to a training program for soldiers INFP, the Armed Forces of Ukraine. While the GTA 5 deemed training equipment is a unique addition to Ukraine's arsenal, We True Gun did offer some clarification about its use. Grand Theft Auto 5 mod is not being billed as a replacement for conventional training, instead being used as a less stressful means for pilots to keep their sharp skills. The trainer center clarified that the active interceptor crew trains with specialized military simulators, and that GTA 5 is not used as a core training method for new recruits. We True Gun also confirmed that the GTA 5 software is provided free of charge to Ukrainian soldiers. Nice. Grand Theft Auto 5 military applications is far from the first time video games have found their way into real-world uses. Military-based video games have been used frequently as a resource for real-world training by different organizations, including popular games like Arma 3, World of Tanks, and video games have often been used for therapeutic purposes, especially with motion-based games like Wii Sports, Wii Fit, and Xbox Kinect motion tracking systems. What? Xbox. The implementation of GTA 5 as a training tool comes as Rockstar is gearing up for the next franchise big release. Grand Theft Auto 6 is currently scheduled to launch on November 19th after multiple delays. Bringing the franchise back to Vice City for the first time in 2 decades, the game has already sparked significant excitement from fans critics alike, capturing the most anticipated game award at the Game Awards 2 years in a row and breaking YouTube records with GTA 6 early trailers. GTA continues to cement itself in the franchise with an undisputed place as one of the gaming's most influential properties. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you say we're going back to Vice City, something inside me does tingle, and that's probably the PS2 era. So I understand some excitement for this, right? It is like, if you think of how GTA 5 was supposed to represent Los Angeles and how potato Los Angeles is, yeah, I guess I really want to see how stupid Florida is too. But what is cool is that, yeah, man, I've always said video games are a language. You learn how to move the character, you learn how to move the camera, you learn how to shoot the gun, you learn how to dodge, you learn how to parry, you learn how to block, and now you learn how to fly drones. So if anybody ever sneezes at video games ever again, literally tell them that GTA 5 is being used by the military to train pilots, and then tell them to shut the fuck up. Anyways, moving on. But that's actually kind of cool, man, honestly. Like, GTA 5 made me laugh because most of its missions were essentially, hey, you got a job, do the job, in the game. Rather than getting a real job, do the job in this game. And that made me laugh, but it reflected to some extent. And now we're at a point where we're legitimately using this technology to enhance life or death situations. So, come on. Slap some VR shit on that. Bam. Vámonos. Because reports claim significant layoffs are coming for Bungie as Destiny 2 ends. I told you we'd be back to that. This is by GameStop over at GameStop.com. By Haley Williams over at GameStop.com. The future of Bungie is looking uncertain as insider reports claim layoffs are on the way for the studio as it ends development on Destiny 2. There are reportedly no plans to move. I just realized we're doing stuff like that. There are no plans to move into development of Destiny 3, with Bungie looking to refocus on Marathon instead for the time being. Following the news that Bungie would develop its final content update for Destiny 2 this June, Bloomberg reports suggest the studio is planning significant layoffs, amid speculation that the studio would move into production on Destiny 3, or rather Destiny-related title. Insider sources quoted by Bloomberg say there is no current project for the Destiny 2 team to move to. Let me get some coffee. Oh yeah, halfway there. Bungie staff are reportedly pitching new projects or beginning developing, including some Destiny-related titles, but none have currently been greenlit for production, with game companies including Bungie's parent company Sony more budget-conscious than ever amid rising hardware prices and a competitive market. It's not certain if any of these new products will move into development. Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion back in 2022 and has since written $796 million off Destiny Studios' value. In the time since the acquisition, Bungie has undergone significant layoffs and has canceled side projects to go all in on Marathon and Destiny 2. In a reply on BlueSky, reporter Jason Schreier added that the reason Bungie didn't immediately start production of Destiny 3 after release of the final shape was because concerns around costs. A planned Destiny spin-off codenamed Payback, which was referred to internally as the next Destiny, was also canceled sometime after Bungie was acquired by Sony. Damn. For now, Bungie is focusing on extraction shooter Marathon, which hasn't performed as well as hoped since its release in March. Some staff from the Destiny 2 team were also moved to Marathon recently. Yeesh. So, yeah, that's for the Sony guys out there. So we're worried about Sony because Sony is being really dumb right now. But it could get worse, right? Could get worse. Still talking about Destiny. Yeah. It would cost too much if we talk about that. And finally, the reaction of the people. Official Destiny 3 petition is blowing up over at Game Rant by Joshua Duckworth. Very nice. The Game Guardian named Harley Casto has begun an official petition on change.org asking Sony to fund and greenlit Destiny 3. Following recent announcements and regarding Destiny 2 in a short time, this petition has already racked up an impressive number of signatures in a relatively short time span. When Bungie first announced that Destiny 2 was winding down development and would receive its final service update on June 9th, many naturally assumed Destiny 3 would be next as Bungie continued to work on Marathon. However, a Bloomberg report has since revealed that Destiny 3 is not in active development and Bungie is planning layoffs following its final update. It remains to be seen how accurate this is, but as members of the Destiny 2 community say farewell to it, they also want there to be a new petitionist, much less Sony for that matter, remains to be seen. But it's clear how many folks attached to the Destiny IP. Destiny 2 must have wrapped up story arcs for years in the making, but its universe is ripe for more exploration. As Castro wrote, the Destiny franchise has captivated millions of gamers around the world, and its immense universe, thrilling gameplay, and strong sense of community. However, with the end of updates for Destiny 2, it is time to take the next step and to keep this beloved series thriving. That step is the development of Destiny 3. Oh, okay. End quote. They believe developers and the eventual release of Destiny 3 would expand the horizons of its universe with new adventures, fresh storylines, and new gameplay features, asking for other fans of the franchise to add their signature to petition. Quote, our passion and commitment to the Destiny franchise drives us to reach out to Sony and express our collective voices, Castro wrote. We believe in the potential of Destiny 3 to inspire a new generation of gamers to keep this fire of the Guardian spirit alive. Joining us in petitioning Sony to take this leap forward, together. Let's make Destiny 3 a reality, end quote. In Destiny lore, Ghosts have worked non-stop continuously every day to revive Destiny 2 players. They revived Guardians countless of times and never asked for much, but signing this petition is at least one way to hopefully ensure that your ghost doesn't fade into digital abyss. Of course, that's being a bit flowery about a game. In reality, Destiny 2 was a result of years of hard work by the fine folks at Bungie. This petition asks for Bungie's work to continue with the next iteration of the franchise. So, essentially, they're asking to save Bungie, right? Because at the end of the day, Bungie would have made another Destiny. It sounds like they were going to do a spin-off for Destiny. But then Sony came in and started being stupid with the live act. Literally, Sony bought Destiny for that amount of money so they could start creating their live service like bullshit. Literally, that is when everything fucked up. And now we're here to a point where people have to write a change.org petition to keep Bungie from freaking essentially closing down. Because it will close down. There is no way Bungie is going to stay open if things stay the way they are. And Sony is so stupid to like fucking take everything that came with Bungie and force it into this pipe hole instead of letting them do something like creative or change the industry. We're talking about Grand Theft Auto coming out here and raising fucking prices when there should be more developers out there changing the fucking game. Literally. It fucking breaks my brain that there is no one with a brain that can actually create something worth like talking about. The last person to actually create a new game style gameplay is Pragmata, and that deserves to be talked about because it's a fucking good system. The last game to create a super awesome artistic style in my brain is Mouse PI, and that deserves to be talked about because how good it looks and how committed the team was to making that game sound, look, and play a specific way. There are people out there with a fraction of the fucking budget that a bitch ass AAA company has in their pockets. And they create products, they create stories, they create memories that are immensely greater than whatever bullshit came out of this hole. And that's the part that pisses me the fuck off. Because it's not just one company. So we'll have to wait and see. But hey, my heart goes out to all these people who really just wanted Destiny 3. Because, yeah, it almost feels like it should be a trilogy. And again, for Sony to be such a fucking dumbass and to drop the ball with Bungie, starting off by fucking paying that much for a company that was not worth that much. Yeah. And that all happened. We're bringing this back. That all happened because Sony decided to move the PlayStation headquarters from Japan to America. And that is when everything fucking fucked up. So that's where we're at. A guy with a PlayStation tattoo and salt for days. But hey, don't worry. I still got my classic PS1 to PS5 collection, physical collection, ready to go. So PSN can suck it. But hey, something else to be disappointed in. Nintendo wants to produce 20 million Switch 2 consoles by March 2027 as production ramps up. This is by Jordan Miller over at the Video Games Chronicle. As Bon Jovi joins us inside. Nintendo's ramping up production of the Switch. Okay, in the company financial results posted earlier this month, the company said that it's expected to sell 16.5 million Switch 2 consoles in the next business year. You're already expecting to sell what you're gonna sell next year, even though you know nobody wanted to buy your fucking console this year. Make it make sense. Which runs until April 2027, down from 19.8. Oh, it runs until April 27th, down from 19.86 million it sold in the last. Okay, well, I guess they're reducing the expectations. So, that's 3,000 less million. Just saying that. Now, according to Bloomberg, the firm plans to produce 20 million Nintendo Switch 2 systems, an increase of around 20%. Quote, for them, there is no real downside in low-balling numbers first and then surpassing them later. Industry analysis Sakura and Toto told Bloomberg. The quote, the just finished financial year is a good example, end quote. Earlier in May, Nintendo announced plans to increase the retail price of Nintendo Switch 2 in the United States, blah blah blah. From December 1st, 2026, the price of the Switch 2 console in the US will increase by 50 to $499 in Europe. Switch 2 hardware will increase by 30 euros to all that. And quote, in light of changes in market conditions, after considering global business outlook, Nintendo revised the manufacturer's system retail MSRP of Nintendo Switch 2 systems and Nintendo Switch systems. The company said at the time of the announcements. In Japan, the price revisions will take effect next week, with all the Nintendo's hardware increasing by around 10,000. The only Japan region locked Switch 2 will increase to Switch Lite is to blah 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 blah. Switch Lite is to standard Switch blah blah blah. The latest first-party Nintendo Switch 2 title, Yoshi and Mysterious Book, was released this week. In BJ's review, we called it a brilliant, unique side-scroller. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book powers along with the kind of breathless imagination typically associated with mainline Super Mario adventures, with new ideas and gameplay mechanics stretching across its margins of its pages. End quote. Why is he salty about this? Again, we are in a fucking RAM crisis. That's it. That's it. And they just want to make more overpriced consoles, which I don't know, man. I believe there's people out there buying Switch 2s. I just don't believe there's gonna be the same amount of people that bought a Switch wanting to buy a Switch 2. I just don't really see it. That being said, when people do buy out all these Switches and fucking Nintendo understands the wrong message, sorry, not Nintendo, Saudi Arabia understands the wrong messages about American spending, then yeah, things are gonna, Again, I have a Switch 2 in the living room that nobody has touched in a cool minute, and that's fine, but it's there. So that's my life, man. So it is what it is. I don't know, man. I hate that. Because, like, again, this console isn't gonna push any boundaries. The max it can cap out is fucking 180, 120 frames. Sometimes, maybe 720, 120 frames. But you're comparing that to PS5 Pro, you're comparing that to PC gaming. And honestly, the Switch 2 is basically just here to like suck up any extra space in the digital production era, and it's doing that at an overpriced pricing. Like if the Switch 2 costed like 400, 350, you could still make a case for it becoming like worldwide and people making like specific experiences just for the Switch 2. But because I don't think it's gonna sell, I don't see anybody developing and being like, oh, I need to make a Switch 2 exclusive title. Especially when the fucking game cards are just being overpriced. And it's just dumb. It's just, I just hate this place. I hate this place. It's stupid. Get the fuck out of here, Nintendo. You suck. But anyways. Total film. Afro Samurai Maestro and hip hop legends. Let's listen from a man of culture. Afro Samurai Maestro and hip hop legends RZA thinks anime is the antidote for formulaic and cookie cutter Hollywood. It is by Bradley Roussel over at Total Film. Wu-Tang Clan's RZA has a long storied history with anime stretching back decades, including a memorable turn providing the electric soundtrack for legendary cult series Afro Samurai, featuring Samuel L. Jackson, motherfucker. Now, he's cutting through the noise and getting to the heart of why Japanese animation reigns supreme over the entertainment industry in the West. Quote, Hollywood has made it into cookie cutters. Hollywood waffles come in a frozen box now. RZA told Games Radar ahead of Crunchyroll's 10th Anime Awards. Quote, anime is like getting it fresh, you know what it's gonna be, and that's using the mind and entertainment. You want to be stimulated. RZA adds, Hollywood is pretty formulaic. It goes through cycles. End quote. For the artist that extends to Jason's passion for creativity compared to, in his mind, a love of the green stuff in wait. For the artist that extends to Japan's passion for creativity. Oh, I get you. For the artist that extends to Japan's passion and creativity compared to, in his mind, a love of the green stuff in America. Quote, I'm fascinated when you come to the city like Tokyo and you go into some of these buildings. Inside these buildings are anime studios where every floor has young people crafting their work. Whereas I'm from New York, and you go into the buildings and every floor someone is doing business or stock or moving money or moving different types of commerce. End quote. After Samurai, a 2007 adaptation of Takashi Okazaki's manga, follows Afro, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, told you, a samurai on the quest for revenge after the death of his father. The miniseries received acclaim for its inimitable sense of style, brutal fight scenes, and relentless momentum. Crunchyroll's Anime Awards took place in the past weekend. For more, check out the list of 2026 Anime Award winners. There you go. So hey, there you go. Words of the maestro himself, RZA, who also has a film which is being produced by Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But yeah, that's pretty straight up. Like he had me for a second with the cookie cutter and the waffle comes in a frozen box now. But he really hit the nail on the coffin when he said that it's about the green stuff in America. And yeah, man, we've obviously, everything we have just talked about today is because fucking, money, due to market conditions, we have to ask for more money. I.e., due to being a stupid dumbass that fucking spent money on Bungie and forced them to make live service factories and funding that live service factory to get no revenue, to turn around and be like, we fucked up. Yeah. But the fact you're gonna turn around and tell the people to pay for it is really fucked up. Not unlike a orange fucking orangutan in the Oval Office who initiated a riot on January 6th and is now taking money from the government, i.e. taxpayers' money, to pay those rioters from that day. It really is that bad. It really is that bad. And if I could do something about it, I fucking would. But I'm here. So walk with me. This law could force publishers to keep games online or issue refunds. But speaking of California and their shitty ass laws. Oh, actually, this is a good law. Speaking of California and their super sick ass laws that are not Washington law, California's AB 1921 would require publishers to keep games playable or refund buyers if their titles go dark. However, the games industry argues that it puts them in a impossible situation. Quote, this is by Will McCurdy over at PC Magazine. Legislation out of California could be good news for gamers who saw publishers drop support for their favorite titles. A new bill, A Bill 1921, I'm just a bill, would force publishers, if you know what that's from, please teach other people. Please teach people. Would force publishers to give 60 days notice before a digital game operator stops providing the services necessary for the, quote, ordinary use digital game, and to communicate this to anyone who has purchased it. Publishers would also need to provide a version of the game that can be used by a purchaser independently of services controlled by the operator, such as a private server not linked to a developer. If these conditions are not met, publishers would need to provide a, quote, refund in an amount equal to the full purchase price paid for the digital game by the purchaser, end quote. There are several caveats. These rules would not apply to free games. They would also not apply to games that rely on subscription for revenue. such as those that cost nothing upfront but charge a monthly fee or sell additional in-game content or items. If the bill passes, it won't. Wait, are you telling me that? So none of my Fortnite subscription bullshit carries over into the future. Shit. If the bill passes, it will only impact games offered for sale in California on or after January 1st, 2027. AB 1921 was first introduced in February and was recently approved by the California Assembly Appropriations Committee. Ars Technica reports. Nice. I'll save that for later. Nice. The news comes amid the growing game preservation movement. The Stop Killing Games movement launched in 2024 after game publisher Ubisoft shut down support for the 2014 racing game The Crew. Ubisoft fucking up again, rendering it unplayable for owners. The online initiative plans to lobby governments around the world to enact legislation benefiting gamers, and recently announced its plans to establish non-governmental organizations in the US and the EU. Let's go! The effort has gained support from some high-profile figures in the gaming world, including YouTube streamers such as PewDiePie, let's go, Minecraft creator Marcus Pearson. Even the most successful games aren't immune to eventually being shut down. Can we just shout out PewDiePie for always being fucking cool? Like, just... that man never changed. It takes a lot of balls. Respect. I'm glad he's happy. He has a family now. Anyways, moving on. Eventually being shut down, Anthem, an online third-party person shooter thought to have sold over 5 million copies, became unplayable in January 2026. However, there is plenty of opposition to the bill. Ars Technica reports that the Entertainment Software Association, a group that represents major game publishers, told the California Assembly last month that the bill, quote, could place publishers in an impossible position, citing levels of online infrastructure and maintenance required. Fucking do it, motherfucker. Fucking do it. That is what you fucking get paid for up the ass, isn't it, CEOs? Fucking do it. That's it. I just got distracted by the dinosaur. But hey, man, honestly, this needs to pass. The gamers need a win. PSN is being hacked. Or being charged up the ass. Microsoft decides to lower its subscription prices, and then everyone else decides to raise their fucking console prices. Clearly, these are choices being made by people who are invested in creating more revenue, i.e., what the maestro just told us, California or Americans looking for that green. But where does the creativity, where does the passion, where does the ambition, where does the pride in our development go when we're being forced to focus on fucking numbers and green stacks? This is where we're at. Video games, movies. Well, movies are pretty safe. I love movies. The United States fucking government. This is where we're at. If we're so focused on that fucking green. And don't get me wrong, man. I like my shit. I like my entertainment. I like my PS5 Pro. I like 4K bullshit cameras. But there needs to be an understanding that this universe isn't green. Well, the only green that matters is Mother Earth, nature. And the fact that we have lost that connection, yes, I'm literally talking about Indians and Native Americans and how fucking connected to nature they were, is a loss, a huge loss. The spiritualism of who we are and what we represent and what we carry with us is seriously one of the most delicate things we could have. You either have it and you know what you want to do or who you want to be, or you will be forced to follow a direction that is being implemented on you. And that is where we lie. And man, it really sucks. It really sucks to have to come back here and be like, oh hey, more shit, more fire, more things, you know, adding more shit to the plate. But this is a universe. There are people. And some people, as someone who rather not place their faith in mankind, or just man, period. It's written. You gotta smile when a hero rises. A hero of the people. Because New York City Mayor Zoran Mandami is officially becoming a Twitch streamer. He got me with that one. Michael Brandon Ingram over at Game Rant. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani has officially revealed that he will be streaming regularly on Twitch, giving constituents and viewers a chance to talk directly with a popular elected official. Mamdani held his first Talk with the People stream on Twitch on May 21st. 3 days ago. That was Thursday. Zoran Mandami has become one of the most viral politicians in the United States since his successful campaign to become New York City's mayor. Mandami has made heavy use of social media throughout his campaign in an effort to reach younger audience, and has continued to keep New York City residents up to date through Twitter and Facebook. The mayor has also garnered attention for his progressive policies, including implemented a handful of grocery stores run by New York City government. Yes, I did hear about that. It's so freaking cool. Now Mandami's attempts to reach a wider audience to bring the popular mayor to Twitch. Side note, the farmers are running out of fertilizer. Period. The fact that this guy is doing something about that is like safeguarding that. So just for a second, think about how badass it is to understand a problem and to find a solution. Just for a fucking second. Run by the New York City government. Now Madani's attempts to reach a wider audience are bringing the popular mayor to Twitch. Look at that guy. Mayor Mandami officially confirmed that he will be streaming on Twitch in order to better communicate directly with the people. Mandami titled the live stream series Talked with the Pope, intending to be a more direct way for the mayor to communicate with New Yorkers. Teams are expected to largely center around Mandami's actions and policies. The mayor of New York City, though he will also field more personal questions from viewers. The first Talk with the People live stream was held on May 21st. Mandami discussed topics ranging from the city budget to New York's Knicks performance. Sick. I don't even like baseball. Performance in the NBA playoffs. But a lot of New Yorkers like the Knicks, so that is kind of a big deal. Mandami's live stream is not the first time politicians have used platforms like Twitch to reach voters on a more direct basis. Many popular politicians, such as U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have streamed their own channels on Twitch or guest starred with other popular streamers like Pokimane and Myth. Ocasio-Cortez also notably went live alongside Minnesota Governor Tim Walz during his run for Vice President's 2024 presidential campaign, playing Madden NFL 25 with a VP candidate. Both leading presidential candidates also used Twitch frequently during the election cycle, with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump streaming press conferences and rallies. Streaming sites like Twitch and YouTube have been used as political channels more than ever in recent years. Twitch has a separate content category devoted to streams centering on politics, with Twitch even adding warning labels for politically charged content during 2024 elections. The rise of political discussion in live streams platforms has also led to many popular streamers sharing their own political beliefs and stances on stream, with Asmongold and Hassan Piker amongst the most notable. This guy just got, yeah, we just talked about that, didn't we? This one. Yep. Hassan Piker among most notable. Oh shit. The changing landscape of Twitch has seen shifts in company policy as well. The site major controversies around the use of viewbots by some of its biggest streamers, with even a Twitch manager claiming that more streamers should be viewbotting. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy even revealed a major change to Twitch aimed at combating viewbotting, earlier May, placing caps on concurrent view accounts for streamers who have been caught viewbotting. Changes to the Twitch policies and content have seen the platform continue to grow and evolve with each passing year. Wow. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. United States government at work. No, I mean, like, I started off with, like, a joke, right? But, like, honestly, man, like, Zoran Mandani has been doing insane work in New York. I am a Californian. New York does not have much to do with my stuff. But the fact that there is someone out there in office doing sick work to actually basically change foundations to shake New York and to support the well-being of the New York / American people is a fucking breath of fresh air, man. I cannot say how good it feels to feel like somebody in the government has a soul. But do not place your faith on man. That is just a general rule. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, as you all know, blah 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying that that's who this guy is, nor do I get those vibes from him, but at the end of the day, understand that it is up to humanity, each individual, to put in that effort. And a man like Mayor Mamdani is just an extremely beautiful example of what that looks like. I'll say it, of what protective male energy looks like. That's what I get from that guy. And, you know, we're bringing this full circle, right? You're telling me that this guy wants to become a Twitch streamer. It's a little weird, but in the landscape that we're in right now, this is exactly what needs to happen. Because we have so many fucking young adults, teenagers, preteens. When I was a preteen, I was listening to, what is it called? Love, Sex, and something at K-Rock. Like the late night show, whatever it was talk. It was a talk show about like stuff like that. I did not need to be there, but it was there. It was accessible, and it happened after my favorite music. So I was there. The fact that people, younglings, our future generations now have an example of what they can something real, but something still accessible to the people on something as something as niche, let's call it, as Twitch. That is a step into a next generation. Now again, some orange dumbass in the Oval Office could use this same technology to really fuck us up even more. But that's why, to me, it's very apparent and very important that people like Zamdani rise up and do their best to showcase the best that they can, you know? So, in all reality, that's all we're doing here, man. That's all that's ever been. So, yeah, let's keep it going. Things are rough out there. Shit is bad. Shit is so fucking bad. You don't even know. Like, local to me. But that doesn't get under my skin. Not necessarily. So hey, let's keep going. Ikimashou. Because you got me interested now. You telling me Hassan is talking about politics? Let's see what this motherfucker subpoenaed by Trump government over aid to Cuba. Okay. Let's see what happened. This is by Zach Coaster over at Otaku. Leftless Twitch streamer and opt-ended lightning rod Hassan Piker has been served with a subpoena by the U.S. Treasury Department, according to Fox News. While he's no stranger to controversy, the summons are in regard to his trip to Cuba back in March of this year, where he joined anti-war organization Code Pink as part of an aid mission. Whoa. While still tied down with the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. government has been escalating tensions with Cuba since Trump's return to the presidency. Most devastatingly, the administration set up a blockade last February, cutting Cuba off from oil tankers and starving the country for energy. It has many worried that Trump will attempt to invade Cuba as he had Venezuela over the last week. Over the last week, U.S. indicated 94-year-old former President Raul Castro and signaled that the Department of Justice would be investigating sympathizing in non-profits, which is what brings us to Twitch.tv. Taking medical supplies to pediatric hospitals in Cuba is now a crime. Saving the lives of people is now a crime. The administration is beyond grotesque. Okay, this is a good thing. Thank God. Last March, Piker joined Code Pink's Nuestra America Convoy, a mission to develop supplies and broadcast a clearer picture of Cuba on the ground. The ground included multiple activists, artists, and influencers, including Code Pink co-founder Media Benjamin and Irish musician Kneecap. Oh, I know those guys. I saw a movie about them. According to Fox, they're pretty, extra. According to Fox, Benjamin has also been served with a subpoena and isn't confirmed how far-reaching these summons will go, and whether Piker is being singled out due to his popularity. Piker is often pegged as a Joe Rogan for the left, but he sooner compares himself to Firebrand radio host Rush Limbaugh, and is a full-time streamer saying incendiary things and yelling at teens in the chat is basically his job. But the scrutiny on Piker has clearly intensified in recent months from a controversial and liberal media alike as he highlights news on Cuba, Iran, and Palestine during streams. Piker has also been using his platform to add tailwind to political candidates in comparative races, sharing his popularity with Michigan State hopeful Abdul El Said, who is now leading polls. Whoa. A subpoena doesn't directly translate to immediate criminal charges, but Piker and Code Pink will be investigated for any financial ties or relations to the embargoed Cuban government. As the U.S. administration plays it pretty fast and loose with the law, it is a move clearly designed to intimidate and stifle criticism, and given how Piker boils blood on both sides of the aisle, it wouldn't hold my breath for political intervention from Democratic leadership either. Oh. So let's unpack that real quick, because this just went to 11. This guy is a rage baiter, and his rage bait is focused on both sides of the aisle. Okay, fair enough. Throwing shit on both sides of the aisle. Now, but apparently, I don't know this guy. I really don't know I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen his Twitch. If he's famous or he's popular or whatever. Fuck me. People are stupid. But Hassan Piker is now being subpoenaed by the U.S. government, meaning that someone in the government looked at his Twitch stream and was interested in understanding what he was doing or interested in silencing his cause, which again is alarming for multiple reasons. And democracy and the United States is hanging in shambles as our Constitution is basically fucking being ripped apart as we speak. In the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, we're being fucked in the ass by the government, by our own government, by a fucking orange rings. Yes, all that. Yes. Thank you. So, as that is happening, now we're putting a president to not encourage streamers or quote-unquote important people of influence to go and do things. Now, I will say the reason you don't throw shit everywhere is because you don't have anyone to lean on. Not that you need to lean on anybody, but you don't have anything to stand on when you're throwing shit everywhere. You literally have no foundation or beliefs to stand on if you're throwing shit on both sides. That being said, the fact that the Democratic Party might decide not to step in is also a bullshit excuse, because you're allowing them to further demolish our Constitution and our freedom of speech and what have you not. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the depressing part. So, who is this guy? I have no idea. Is it is it like,
right now as we speak,
there we go. There's a kid. Okay,
right now as we speak,
it sounds kind of important. It's an intro, kind of important.
90 miles off the coastline of the United States of America.
And the question is, what does this dude want? Oh, okay. The question is, what does this dude want? Like, what does he stand for? What is he, which is fine, right? We don't know, but I mean, at the same time,
for over 60 years,
someone putting in the work, someone talking about the intensity. This looks like the shit that I watch every other weekend. But yeah, the fact that it's now hitting a point where the government is stepping in to quote unquote silence things is fairly alarming. And again, like I always talk about how freaking my ISP is like taking notes of everything that I do on here, but it's not a joke when our freedom of speech is being contested. So, Florida.
No, it's a special plan.
Oh, yeah.
America hates free healthcare. Last year, I interviewed
How many products they give me shoe? For a shoelace?
There you
So
go.
that I can return as a fully trained and complete doctor. I am ready to be on the battlefield.
Yeah.
For my people to support them on the front line.
Sheesh.
I'm proud of it too. Fucking.
So in the moment in which you have the picture,
So we'll leave it at that, man. There are people out there that are actually doing something interesting. I do think that it's if you are able to talk about it, you know, clearly you have some culture behind you. You have an influence, like you are influenced through culture, whether that be Japanese video games, whether that be anime, whether that be One Piece. You were formulated by, let's call it, heroic tendencies. And that's great, man. That is really great. Again, like, there are multiple ways to approach a problem. Clearly, this person has decided to take a route, and it's working for him. You know, that's, you know, whether that's a choice or whether that's a sacrifice, that is up to the individual. But again, like, in times that we are now, in the way that things just are completely no bueno, yeah, I would hope that the right people try to instill some type of hope, some type of positivity, some type of courage, some type of understanding, right? Because the only way we're gonna get past any of this is understanding at the end of the day. And that's important, man. It really, really is. So, when you come after our amendment rights, that's one thing. But when you come after Stephen Colbert and our late night host, we got a problem. This is by Zach Goetzer. Colbert lands new hosting gig on Michigan Public Access 24 hours after wrapping up late night career. This week was the final episode of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, ending an 11-year run on politically contentious terms. Bitch-ass Donald Trump has pressured multiple networks to dump late-night hosts critical of him. CBS proved to be the most compliant, announcing Colbert's end in 2025. However, it turns out his network cancellation didn't silence him very long, as Colbert re-emerged a day later, albeit hosting a show in Michigan Cable Access. I actually saw that, like, one of those power switches at the end of that. This final scene was him pulling a power switch, and one of them said only in Monroe. However, it turns out his no stupid. It's been be it hosting a show, quote, it's been an excruciating 23 hours without being on TV, opens Colbert. So I am grateful to be here on Monroe Community Media before they also get acquired by Paramount, end quote. Colbert appeared only in Monroe during a segment on his first Late Show season. A decade later, he's guest hosting the program, airing The Room with Monroe's regular hosts Michael Bauman and Kaylee Lynn at Ray Ralphco Wilson. They discuss local Michigan affairs such as legal cannabis, chili dog robberies, and Bigfoot sightings. State legends Jack White, Jeff Daniels, and Eminem popped by the program, as well as Byron Allen, whose show Comics Unleashed isn't so much replacing Colbert's, but losing the airtime the way that an infomercial would. Colbert got the Late Show chair in 2015, dropping his conservative Colbert Report persona and picking up for David Letterman, who began the program in 1993. On the final tapping, Colbert was sworn with celebrity guests like Paul Rudd, Ryan Reynolds, and Tim Meadows, each hoping to be the last. It capped with Paul McCartney and Elvis Costello sending Colbert off with "Hello, goodbye." A nod. Oh, that was Elvis Costello? Whoa! Isn't that Suavemente guy? Bésame, quiero sentir tus labios besando otra vez. No mames, wey! That's fucking badass. I saw him because I watched the final episode. I saw him and I was like, that's not Carlos Santana, but that looks like a Carlos Santana. A nod to circumstances and a callback to the Beatles' famed 1964 performance on the same stage. It is unclear if the Ed Sullivan Theater will be used for any live broadcasting moving forward. Late night TV has been, in general, freefall as more people consume their comedy through podcasts and YouTube clips. You'd almost never know given the amount of scrutiny they receive from Washington. Trump more fixated on televised critics than any president before him. When Colbert contact unceremoniously ended, many felt it was a gesture from Paramount CEO, CBS owner, and General Trump chump David Ellison, who will have to defend a massive merger with the FCC. Similar pressures was applied to Disney to dump Jimmy Kimmel the same year. When Jimmy Kimmel Live was suspended in September, the decision was swiftly reversed as millions canceled their Disney Plus subscriptions in protest. Noise. Colbert will be fine, but the surreal state of affairs are far more menacing. As Mountain Goats lead John Darnell points out, the combo cable access approach is a perfect antidote to this corrupted ecosystem. Even more streamers have attempted to polish up their presentation, become as frictionless as overproduced as the network. The two mediums converging in the dullest way possible. Digital media was more exciting when it seemed like a constellation of cable access shows. The longevity of the Mystery Science Theater and the Angry Video Game Nerd suggest the power of the Great Lakes approach to pop culture. The duct tape now and live forever. Wow, a bit if Colbert has a fuse in any of his audience about how divorced from commercial institutions media can be, and how wonderfully that can flourish, then this broadcast fiasco could be a blessing in disguise. Reports have emerged that attempts to embed Colbert's episode of Only Remote have been blocked by a copyright claim from Paramount owner CBS and Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert. Attempts to embed Colbert's episode of Only Remote. Paramount is apparently trying to suppress copies of Only Remote from appearing on other social platforms by filing frivolous copyright notices, even though the show was produced by a public access TV channel and doesn't use their intellectual property. Damn. Paramount claiming ownership of a public access show in Michigan is wild work. We reshared Colbert's public access show with our audience yesterday, made sure to point everyone back to Monroe Community Media, and CBS blocked the entire thing. Insanity. This is despite the fact that Only Monroe is broadcast on a public cable access and does not belong to a corporation, though it's possible it stems from the video being shared on the Late Night Show's visual channel. The full episode can still be viewed on Monroe Community Media's channel. That is insane. And that's true, man. That is 100% true, because stupid-assically, I recorded like 1-minute snippets, like shorts. I posted shorts of the final Late Show episode. I did, like the final events. I recorded that and I posted it that very night, and bitch ass CBS fucking flagged those things. They blocked those videos. They can go fuck themselves, man. I'm seriously things are not great, and obviously it led to this man being fired from his job, quote unquote. Not unlike developers, not unlike the video game creators that actually have had passion in this industry. But the difference between AAA and those indie developers is that they're creating for passion. This man has passion. Those teams have passion. And that is the biggest difference between what those productions, as expensive as they might be, can't hold a candle to actual passion. And sure, we're gonna get GTA 6, right? Sure, they're gonna probably try to sell it for $80. They're essentially gonna raise the market for everybody because they say they're gonna do that. And sure, a lot of fucking people are gonna rush out and buy it because they have to be the first person to stream GTA 5 or 6, doesn't matter. And that's that sucks. That really sucks. That's really gonna hurt. But what happens? Toke story. But what happens next? We'll see. I said we didn't have much time in this industry. I said I didn't think that I'd be here much longer. I said that they were gonna start to outprice me, people, right? Like, do I really feel like dropping $1,000 on a fucking PS6? I can't say that I would, but I also can't say that I wouldn't. But the fact that that thought exists in my brain is enough to make me know that things are not okay. So they can do whatever they want. They can fucking bribe CBS to fire Colbert. They can poke holes in their constitution and cling to what desperate power they have, as a orange orangutan would. But they can't take our spirit. And they can't take our art. So, CBS, go fuck yourself. Stephen Colbert, Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Yeesh. It's rough out there. Bills himself as creator of the worst games known to humanity. Seems sleep about this. In their announcement, singing updating a new right. Hi gamers, we're listening. We heard you. We fixed all our issues and we've been waiting for it. We've added hearts and little kisses for your friends as you become the best new H Plantation owner ever. Good luck. Keep on gaming. Ooh. Their toenail next similar to Up and including a troll post which a few hours goes announced. There's really shitty people in this world, you know? Outer Worlds having earlier starting the game. Lacks moderation, contact by the client, blah 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 blah. So those people will remain, right? Those people will continue to exist in this universe. People will continue to push the boundaries and see how far they can get away with being assholes, because it helps them feel alive. Mad moneymaker. But I don't think that's a life worth living, if I'm being completely honest. And if we can find that if we can find that balance, then maybe there's hope for us yet. Andrew Bulbasaur, James the Creator, whatever this guy is, Azaglash, Manner of Death, John, Popular Apostle. What? Whatever that is. Come hither and I will show these things which must be Hereth. What character is that? Gothelite, who shows opponents streams of the universe ends. These streams were apparently thorough and beautiful. Oh, because he wrote the apocalypse. I don't know. Philip. Love airtime on gospel to show up. Fido is Philip's. Sit down and give thanks to Samuel. So this likewise fish as much as it would. Oh, when he gave up because of the bread. Nice. Bartholomew, Nathaniel. Later was being figuratively ran his skin form. This guy, the guy who got all his skin pulled off. Ew. Oh no. Thomas, doubting Thomas. Literally stick his hand, spear, wound of changes sight before the guy in prison was dead. Thomas has a Claytio, Pokemon that causes a major holdup in Ruby and Sapphire, being visible and blocking a road. Matthew, Jesus said unto him, oh shit. Jesus said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they who have not seen and yet have believed. Sheesh. Matthew's the tax collector. Jesus calls everyone society absolutely freaking. Jesus calls everyone, even people who society absolutely freaking hates. Jesus literally calls him to be a disciple while he's actively sitting around taking people's money. While Matthew seems to have gotten back together over the corpse of the Gospels, his Pokemon is Murkov. Hey. searches for shiny things for its bosses. Murkoff's president is said to be unlucky, so many people detest it. Cute. James Lesser. James Lesser is just because he was younger, mentioned including in the Bible, debate whether he was related to Jesus, and if so, how. Cousin, brother, apart from Jesus, James Greta, there were several other guys named James running around. At this point in period, it's sometimes hard to tell which James is being discussed in the account. Apparently, no one thought that hundreds of people over the years would be curious about it. Okay. James Lester gets Minim, who has the biggest little sibling energy in the entire Pokédex. Cute. It cheers on its friends as its friends are losing, and its body lets out more and more sparks. Jude or Judas, aka Thaddeus, not Judas Iscariot. Man, I had to beat this guy, also named Judas, blah blah blah. Despite having very little going on, so the bottom roster, Apostle Judas is beloved among Catholics, person saint of lost and hopeless causes. He's the guy you ask to intercede for you when you are literally nowhere else to turn, which is either very flattering or very insulting if you're Jude. Hopelessness cause I have learned a new fact about one of my personal faiths, and thus Jude a Bagon. Cool. Bagon has a dream of one day soaring in the sky. In doomed efforts to fly, this Pokemon hurls itself off cliffs. As a result of its dives, its head has grown tough and as hard as tempered steel. Damn. Simon. 12 followers, probably to be sure. Confusing. We have Simon Peter, not Simon Zealot. A word used for him could be meaning he was a member of a controversial political movement, or also it's maybe that he was just a really passionate fellow. In honor of both traditions, Simon earns a Galarian Zigzagoon, which will eventually evolve into Upsagoon, which will likely cause no end of trouble. Cute. Judas Iscariot. Ah, yes. The guy everyone knows, the traitor. The guy who turned Jesus into freaking cops. The guy who was not Pentecost, he was disgraced and dead, but he is one of the 12. So I guess if we can go on the list, people are going to hate me for this, but Judas gets a Mimikyu for obvious reasons. Look, I know your thing going a little cute inside misunderstood, but you gotta read Pokedex. Because the wind revealed the hides under its Pokemon that you ragged to under this Pokemon's rag to a passing trainer who went home and died painfully that very night. Wait, what? A gust of wind revealed what hides under this Pokemon's rag to a passing trainer who went home and died painfully that very night. Pokemon Ultramoon. Quote, there was a scientist who peeked under Miracule's old rag in the name of research. The scientist died of mysterious disease, Pokemon Shield. This thing killed multiple people. Like a Pokemon and a Bible have deeply grim lore. Yeesh. He's right there. Mimikyu can even learn Drain Kiss via TM, and he that betrayed him had given them a token saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Take him and lead him away safely. And as soon as he was come, he went straight away to him and said, Master, Master, and kissed them. Mark 14:45. Matthias, alas, you thought you were done. Alas, for some reason the apostles couldn't stand to just have 11 guys, so they had to appoint the replacement for Judas. Of course, they managed to find another guy with a similar to a guy they already had, and picked him with the silliest possible method, gambling, which is also something you can do in Pokemon games. If you do it a lot and well enough, you can win. You too can win a prize, a Dratini. And they prayed and said, Thou Lord, which knowest the hearts of all men, shew whether of these two thou hast chosen, and he may take part of this ministry and apostleship, from which Judas by transgression fell, that he might go to his own place. And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Matthias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles. The Dratini is arguably the best prize one can get in the original Chaldean game corner, though giving the tradition says Matthias was either crucified or stoned to death. I'm not sure him winning this lottery was exactly a triumph. A blessed Pentecost to you all. Wow, I did not see that coming. It's a bit of a side detour, but hey, in case you didn't know, I feel like we all learned something together. I feel like we all learned something new today. So, who says Pokemon are from the devil? My mother used to say that. She might not have been wrong, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, amidst the universe, amidst all things, amidst all that happens, Valve remaining silent, racist PlayStation games, Valve remaining silent, Twitch streamers being attacked by the U.S. government, and late night show hosts having to reset their lives because the government is shifting into a abomination that we no longer represent, or that no longer represents its people. So yeah, things are a little rough out there, but you know, it's a new week. We still got things to do. And for now, I say we just have fun and experience what we have. Motorcycles help, sure. But yeah, man, I just go out there, spend time with the people that you care about. If you can reach out to those who are celebrating life. I know someone that just had a birthday yesterday, or people that are just there trying to figure things out. That's pretty cool too. It's a big universe. The world as it spins will forever be forming. Nothing will ever stay the same, but it doesn't mean we should strive for worse, in my humblest opinion. So, with all that being said, hey man, thank you, Stephen Colbert. I really appreciate everything you have done for this country. And hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we are gonna get into the next generation of solo programming, dude. Hell yeah. That's it, man. That's it. Public broadcast, right? Yeah, so if that is the future of us, then I'm kind of into that. And who knows, man, maybe, just in a weird universe, someone creates an alternative to YouTube, and then the real party can begin. But hey, a guy can dream. So, let's move on to the fun times. Is that lo-fi? Hell yeah. Bueno. Did you say... Oh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. Yeah, wait. Alright. So let's do it. It's not the song, don't worry about it. But... that's it. That's another awesome week. Again, look, I don't know if the universe thinks that I like to show up and just start complaining. That's not necessarily what we do here. But it's very important to understand why we are the way we are. Someone might say, know thyself. And others might say, knowing is half the battle. But in reality, just knowing what you stand for, right? Even if you want to be that annoying YouTuber who just creates quote unquote drama, even that drama can be used to motivate a positive cause. And if that is what this Hassan guy is doing out there, then I fully support that cause. But again, I wouldn't place my faith in man, because we're just very unique in our own individual ways. And that's great. But it's also a very delicate balance. So the best I can do is say hello. I hope you are having a very awesome weekend. I hope that your families are nice and safe. And I hope that you have a beautiful smile on that face. So, let's have some fun. It's the right one, right? Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's alright. It's been a long, unholy winter. Little darling, it feels like years since we've been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun when I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles return into their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since we've been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 sun. Sun, 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 here it comes. I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun when I say it's alright. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. Something like that. Okay, there you go. Not the biggest Beatles fan, but I did have a Beatles haircut when I was in middle school. As it was pointed out to me, famously. I saw a movie yesterday, and I'd like to say... The man and what's it? Actually, I saw like two movies yesterday. Well, I saw Grogu as well, but irrelevant. I saw a movie. It was the romance one. Okay, yeah. It was a romance one. And it was about basically like a couple that people that like live in their car, but they like go town to town. They live on the road like nomads, right? And it was just an interesting little scenario where it had the couple doing survival. It was like a spooky thriller horror type of deal, and it just really had like a really interesting relationship. It's funny / sad to look at Hollywood, its movies, and see how males are being interpreted and how like females are being girl bossed out to an extent where it's unnecessary in my personal opinion. But and then you come around to a like an indie film. Again, like these are people that are taking money from different foundations where they don't have to listen to all the Hollywood bullshit, basically. And honestly, it gave one of the cuter relationships that I didn't think we were still capable of writing, basically. So to see those two go through their story, to be stressed out for a cool minute, but to always like have each other's backs, that ain't love. Sheesh. ¿Qué será? Didn't know these guys had a vibe. It's time. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You feel like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. Long last love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. But in the way that I stare, there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you makes me weak. There are no words left to speak. But if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Oh, I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh pretty baby, don't that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. To be true, you can't take my eyes off of you. Can't feel like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you. So kana. Well, That was fast. That's all I really had for today. That's all I really had for today. But alright. Alright. Saigo now. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being cool. Know that I love you. Take care of your loved ones. And have fun. Stay safe. Don't die. Have fun. And there was a secret chord, and playing the pain and pleading the Lord. They don't know the music, do you? It's better be right fucking us. They call the test, the fifth and the major lift, the baffled earth composing hallelujah. It's not the right fucking chords. Hallelujah. It's not the right chords. Motherfucker. Cable first. Are you sure about that? Fucking puta de verga. Oh, so it doesn't have a cable. It's literally without the cable. Yes. You guys are fucking idiots. Sorry. Fucking assholes. Alright. Anyways. Totally should have gone home. And there was a secret chord David played and I pleased the Lord. You don't care for music, do you? It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor four and the major lift, the baffled king and the closing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Faith was fair, if it proved. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Maybe I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. You know I used to live alone. I knew you. I've seen your flag on the marble arch. And love is not a victory march. It's a chord and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do you? But I remember when I moved in you, the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew ya. On solo shufflers. It's not a cry you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a chord and it's a broken heart. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Love you very much. Y'all have fun out there. Take care. And know that no matter what happens, there is a future. It's what we make of it.